Training camp is in full swing, and some positions are still up for grabs. So as we approach this first preseason game against the Bears, let's see who really needs to make a splash after the intro. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bonafide. This is Section 240, a channel all about the Tennessee Titans from a fan's perspective. So we play the Bears on August the 12th in the middle of the day. I don't understand preseason scheduling, but anyway, and we finally get to hit somebody that's not in two-tone blue. So this is our first chance this season to see what we've been salivating for. Some of these new pieces in place. So, like I said originally, some of those spots have been locked down. So I really don't expect to see any of the starters play. So no Tannehill, no Henry, no D-Hop, probably no Burks. That would go a long way. Probably not going to see Jeff Simmons. Probably not going to see Denico Autry. Probably not going to see Kevin Byard. None of these players. Probably not going to see Fulton. So a lot of the starters aren't going to play. They may be in uniform, but they're probably not going to play. So this will give us an opportunity to kind of see what we actually have on the team. So let's talk about it. There are a couple of positions that I'm going to have my eye out on. Pretty much if you're watching the game, you've been a Titans fan for a little while, you're going to have your eye on this too. So let's just get this out of the way already. QB2, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Willis versus Levis. One of them has to win this spot. One of them has to rise to the top and take over the QB2 spot for the Tennessee Titans. Now, from all accounts and purposes, from the reports that we get on Twitter and social media from training camp, Jim Wyatt has a great recap every day that kind of tells you how everything's doing. And he's been keeping track of the reps. And both have had pretty good days and bad ones. I remember there was a day where Will Levis hit back-to-back TD passes in the red zone drill. Then the next day after that, Malik hit back-to-back touchdown passes. So they've had good days and they've had bad days. Training camp is one thing, but actual live game against somebody else, that is where we're going to see the differences between this. You know, can Levis show us that he's really ready for the big time? Or has Willis done enough in the offseason and with that one season underneath his belt to kind of show that he has solidified the number 2 position, at least for this season? Next season, things like that, it might be a totally different story. But that is the one battle we're doing. We need to see, are they accurate? Are they hitting passes? How does the offense look when they're running it? Now, obviously, you got to take some caveats. Willis might be running with more 2s and Levis might be running with the 3s. But in any case, if Levis is good enough or as good as advertised, then he should be able to elevate that to the point where you say, hey, yeah, he shouldn't really be playing with this. And if Willis has done this work, which Mike and all of these other coaches, you know, Charles and Kelly have been talking about the improvement that he's doing, and it was glaring, we should be able to see that on the field against the Bears. So that's one battle. We gotten that out of the way. Let's talk about this. Right tackle. So Jamarco Jones made the decision a little bit easier for Mike and them by being a complete idiot and getting himself cut because he couldn't control his temper. He was in 2 fights this year, and remember last year, I think he tried to fight somebody too. So it really doesn't matter. Mike kicked him off the squad. He's out of here. So, and the thing about it is that had Jamarco kind of just kept his even keel, he was trending towards being the starting right tackle. Because the thing, you can put 2 to 2 together, he was running with the ones. So he got into it with Jeffrey Simmons. So they both got kicked out of practice. Then the next day, he blindside hit, I think it was Chase Campbell. I think they said it was Gibby, but then it was Chase Campbell. Blindside him, and Algier had to come up there and defend him. So that was 2 back-to-back days, and I guess Mike had enough of it, so he cut him. So now the guy that we thought was going to take the place or at least substitute for NPF while he's out them 6 games is not here anymore. So we signed Chris Hubbard. I think we signed a few other guys over the past days. I'll put their names down here who we picked up. But now we're kind of like 2 weeks into training camp, coming quick to the first preseason game, and we really don't know who the right tackle is going to be. I even heard or saw a report that Skoronski even said that he'd be willing to move to play right tackle, and they've been exclusively having him as a guard during the training camp. So are we going to basically throw that in the garbage and have him start at right tackle? I don't think he's going to do that. I think they're putting him at that guard position. But, this right tackle position has to get solidified, because in the last video I was talking about Ryan Tannehill. One of the big ifs is the offensive line. It has to work and it has to gel together well. Now, we've picked up some players. John Njoku was a name that kept popping up, but he got hurt last week. Corey Levin, I don't think he played. He doesn't play any tackle. So, but he got hurt. So these new signings, I think Justin Murray, I can't remember the name, but we signed, I think the past week, 3 offensive linemen. So that's still a work in progress. So I need to see, like, when these guys get in, it's not going to be an exciting game, but I need to see pass protection, because we need an offensive line that is cohesive, that works, things like that. So right tackle is definitely a position that we need to keep a focus on. And that is something that's got to get cleared up quick, fast, and in a hurry before the season starts, or it's not going to look good for us in the long run. Now, the next position is one that you would think we pretty much got wrapped up, but it's still kind of like one little thing out there. It's wide receiver. We already know who's going to be 1A and 1B, and that's D-Hop and Burks. They've kind of solidified that. They have been showing out in camp, one-handed catches, Mawson. They doing what they need to do in camp to kind of solidify that. Now you got the next level down. You got Kyle Phillips, you got Chris Moore, you got NWI. I think NWI is going to make the team, even though he hasn't been really splashing in camp, simply because he can do multiple things. He plays, and that's another reason why Chris Moore probably was picked up in the first place, because he can do multiple things. They both can play special teams, and they can do wide receiver, and I think they know a few of the spots. So those 5 individuals are probably going to be there. So you got, but there's a whole bunch of more wide receivers still in the camp. And who is going to be, now I will say this, Tim Kelly did say that they will keep what they need. So we're saying the number 6, but they may keep 7, they could keep 8, but I can't see that happening just based off our prior history, but things are different. So they may keep 6, may keep 7, may keep 8, but at least they're going to go with the number of 6 right now. And over the past few days in training camp, the one name that I keep seeing pop up is Reggie Roberson. He has been catching touchdown passes. If I see Reggie's name, touchdown is usually close right behind it. So he's really been making a splash in practice. Now, we got Kyrus Jackson in there. We got the only wide receiver that we drafted this draft, Colton Dowell. He's there. I haven't really heard his name. Haven't really heard McMath's name too, and he's on the squad too. So this group, even though it's kind of locked down, this group is going to have to perform in this game and the following 2 other preseason games. They're really going to have to show out to kind of pop off the radar. I would say Reggie is in the lead for that 6th and final wide receiver spot, just because he's doing so well in camp. But I said this is practice. So we really need to see him at this game against other cornerbacks to see how does it work out for him. Is he a good route runner? Is he physical in the route? Is he a good blocker? All of these things that come with wide receiving, we need to see that from him. So this is a person that really needs to make a splash to see if they want to, win this roster spot. And the last one is a position we really didn't talk about, and it's really been kind of flying under the radar, but linebacker. Outside of Al Shahir and Dr. Gibby, it seems like that we still got questions in this position. Monty Rice needs to really show something. He was dinged up last year. I know he's from Georgia. He seems like he could be that guy, but I don't think he's fast enough, or I don't think he's, there's something about him that just doesn't seem like, a linebacker. So, can he solidify that last spot, outside of Gibby's? Because it looks like Gibby's, running with the ones. Remember, Gibby's was the one that got blindsided. Well, was the one they thought got blindsided by Jamarco, but it was really Chase Campbell. So maybe they've been running with the ones. I saw a report where they said that, outside of Al-Shahir, Gibby was getting a lot of those first team reps. So it looks like they like him. He did a good job last year, so he might be penciled in that other linebacker spot. But, is Chance Campbell going to be able to do something, And this is wild. On Friday, during Mike Vrabel's presser, he brought up the name Otis Reese IV, which is somebody, and I'm telling you, look, I know the roster back and forth, and I didn't even know who this dude was. But he's obviously, I think he's a UDFA or a linebacker I think he's a UDFA that we signed. And that is, Mike basically said he can't wait to see OTIS play in that game. He says when he triggers, I'll play the clip.
I cannot wait to watch OTIS in that preseason game and playing fast. And when he knows, when he triggered yesterday in the bubble and came through. There's a level of play speed that when he is sure of where he's going is pretty cool. So, excited for him to be able to go out there and play fast and see where he can find a role on special teams and watch him cover some kicks and watch him play on a punt return and all those good things.
He says when he triggers something hard. So he's caught Mike's eye. So that might be somebody we need to walk on. We need to keep an eye on, things like that. So these are the 4 positions that I'm going to be looking at and I'm going to be paying close attention to. Yeah, it's preseason. Yeah, I get it. It's probably not, you can't get a lot from it, but we try to glean as much as we can from this game. But my question for the section, because that's what we're going to call it, question for the section is, which position battle are you the most interested to see and why? So this is the end of the video. Just wanted to make a time because the game is coming up. I'm probably going to do a little preview video about the preseason game, and then I'll give you my reaction after the game, what I like, what I didn't like, things like that. And that'll be our normal cadence from there. But I'm excited. We finally about to get some real football in here. We about to see the boys in two-tone blue play somebody else. So definitely excited. Thanks for stopping by and watch the video. Much love to all my subscribers. The people have been liking the videos, the comments. It's been awesome. Make sure that you like this video so YouTube will keep giving my content to you. Make sure you share the video to other Titans fans so they can join in on the section. There's plenty of seats in this section, baby. Plenty of seats. And make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I love to have you here. We got a whole bunch of things going. We're going to keep this rolling all season long. So until then, tighten up.